Welcome to another episode of Frame by Frame, a series dedicated to the craft of filmmaking. Now, Samurai Jack may be animation, but it's as close to cinematic as cartoons get. The split-screen standoffs, the elaborate set pieces, the dynamic angles. It's less a cartoon, more a work of art. But what about Jack's artwork itself? The show's visual style won it a heap of Emmys during its initial run. Let me ask you this though. Do you know the old Japanese anime that inspired the show's aesthetic? To find out, we'll need to go back to the past to find the origin of Samurai Jack. Meet Genndy Tartakovsky. He's the guy who created the Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, and Samurai Jack. Yeah, for all I know, he built Cartoon Network brick by brick too. Anyway, Genndy is pointed to many influences behind Samurai Jack, some even as obscure as the 1974 film The Longest Yard. The show's biggest influence though, the 1963 Japanese animation, The Little Prince and the Eight-Headed Dragon. Look at that artwork. It's not your typical Disney fare, and I'll tell you why. First, the characters have little to no shading, which gives them a very two-dimensional appearance. Second, bright colors are used, and the color is applied in these big sections. The illustration itself is abstract. Figures are drawn with rigid lines, or they're composed of strong geometric shapes, so they only barely resemble their real-world counterparts, if they even have them. Now, take a Disney film from the same era, 101 Dalmatians. Notice how the characters are all outlined in black, or how muted the colors are? The illustration is fairly realistic too, qualities that all differ from The Little Prince's aesthetic. Now, while The Little Prince was a landmark anime, few outside the animation community even know its reputation, which kinda sucks, because there's a lot to love about The Little Prince, especially its score, which was composed by Akira Ifukube, who created the original Godzilla soundtrack. Now, while The Little Prince may have few admirers, one of them happens to be Genndy Tartakovsky, which is why there's so many visual parallels between the film and Samurai Jack. For example, Jack and the other characters on the show lack black outlining. These characters and the worlds they inhabit also lack shading, which mimics The Little Prince's 2D look. The use of color is similar as well. Just look at Jack himself. His color scheme is simple, bright, and that color is applied in big, blocky sections. This simplistic approach to color is a visual rule that applies to the entire show. Notice too how Samurai Jack is drawn. Like The Little Prince, the show's artwork is abstract. Jack himself is drawn mostly with straight lines. This gives him a rigid, blocky appearance, a look more akin to modern art than modern man. And every robot, villager, screaming Scotsman are conceived in an equally abstract way. Now, while The Little Prince and the Eight-Headed Dragon might have inspired Jack's art style, Tartakovsky's show is innovative in its own right. Take Samurai Jack's pacing. Episodes often start with these long stretches of silence, which are then shattered by frantic fight sequences. What's missing? Dialogue. So Tartakovsky usually tells his stories visually. What fascinates me too is Samurai Jack's sense of scope. It's an episodic show, therefore its plots are often simple and self-contained. But Jack travels to a completely new world in every episode. So you have these small stories framed within an enormous universe. It's a beautiful contrast. That said, Season 5 has adopted a serialized format, so that juxtaposition is lost now that the show's telling a much bigger story. It also means though that Jack's choices finally have an impact on his future, which begs the question, will Jack triumph over a coup in their final battle? Regardless what happens in his past, present, or future, for now, I'm just glad Jack's back. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, Film Theory, for more fantastic film-related content. If you'd like to check out more Frame by Frame, click the frame to the left. Or if you'd like to check out a Film Theory episode, click the frame to the right. And until next time, my name is Kyle, and this has been Frame by Frame.